Hello again, Walnut Park 4th graders. Hope you have had a great few days since our last video, and I'm glad you enjoyed our true story of the Three Little Pigs the last time we were together. Hope you're having a great break from actually having to go to school and you're enjoying being at home. I know it can get a little crazy being at home and kind of being cramped up at home a little bit, but hopefully on these pretty days like this, you're getting a chance to get outside and soak up some sunshine and play outside as well. That's why I'm outside today. I was getting a little stir crazy sitting in the house and working. I'm working from home in my job, working on the computer, sitting in the house all day, but I saw today was a beautiful sunny day, so I decided to come outside, be with the birds that you can hear in the background, and there's even a neighbor mowing grass somewhere over that way. So out here in the outdoors with the sunshine, and here to read you another fun book. I know that by this point you probably have said several times, to the point that your parents are probably tired of hearing the words, "I'm so bored." Well, this story is about a little bear named Boris, who was bored as well, and it's called Totally Bored Boris. Boris had played with all of his toys. He had read all his books, but now he didn't know what to do next. He thought and he thought, but he could think of nothing else to do. He was totally bored. So finally Boris went to his father. He tooted his trumpet and he said, "Let's do something." "I am doing something," said the father. "I'm busy painting. Why don't you go fishing?" "Fishing is no fun to do alone," said Boris. "Please do something with me." "I can't right now," said the father. "Why don't you read a book?" And Boris said, "I'm tired of my books already." So Boris then hoped that maybe his mother would want to do something with him. "I'd love to," said his mother, "but I promised your little sister I'd bake some cookies with her. Why don't you help us with that?" "No, no, no," cried Boris. "I hate my sister, and I hate baking cookies." So he stomped off back to his room. But Boris could hear all kinds of happy noises coming from the kitchen. The chattering and laughing made him feel even worse, so he decided to go to his treehouse. "Maybe there's something I can play with there," he said. So he took his trumpet with him, just in case there wasn't. But as soon as Boris had climbed up the tree, he saw that there was nothing to do there either. It was just as boring as being back in his room. "What can I do? What can I do?" he asked himself over and over again. There were lots of things he didn't want to do, but nothing that he really did want to do. Suddenly, a huge cardboard box came walking by. From inside came the voice of Boris's sister chanting, "I'm on my way to build a castle, but no one will know where it is. It's going to be a secret." Well, from his tree, Boris could see exactly where she was going. Building a castle, he thought. What a boring idea. If I had that box, I'd make a spaceship out of it. Well, he kept watching as his sister and some of her friends began their work. Well, pretty soon Boris saw everyone pasting cutouts and buttons on the castle and painting pictures on the walls. Boris knew what he would have done instead. A spaceship would need rockets and aerials and lots of other things. But then he remembered that he was much too bored to do anything anyway. Well, the next thing Boris saw was his sister and her friends carrying streamers and crepe paper. Well, I guess they're going to have a party now, Boris thought. Well, so what? I hate parties too. But he kept watching from his treehouse. "Mother gave us all her old jewelry and clothes to play dress-up," his little sister said very loudly as she passed under Boris's tree a few minutes later. "I'll be a princess, but you won't see it," she added. Of course he would see it, Boris thought to himself, and he acted, though, as if he weren't even interested. Well, the dressing up sounded very noisy and cheerful. Boris imagined that he would dress up as, if it were his party, a spaceman, or even an alien from a strange planet. But then Boris saw that the others were having a good time anyway. That made him feel more out of sorts than ever. When they posed so the princess could take a snapshot, Boris threw twigs down at them, but they were having too much of a good time to even notice. Well, then his sister said to her friends, "Now let's have a party." "Oh no, I mean a royal feast," remembering that she was now a princess. Well, she walked proudly by Boris's tree again, this time carrying a bowl filled with warm cookies. Well, the sweet smell of the freshly baked cookies drifted up to Boris's treehouse. The pitcher of juice made him feel thirsty, but nobody paid any attention to him. They were too busy laughing, eating, and having a good time together. "This is just too much," said Boris. Well, Boris couldn't bear it any longer. He picked up his trumpet and blew it as loud as he could, just making a loud noise. And then he did it again, blowing on his trumpet. But when he stopped, there was complete silence. There was no talking, no giggling. The trumpet noise had worked. It had put an end to their silly fun and their stupid party. Boris felt very pleased with himself. But suddenly, he heard his name called out from below. "Boris, a trumpeter is just what a royal feast needs," called one of the guests. "How about it? Will you be the king's trumpeter?" Boris was about to say something very rude, but then he thought for a moment and said, "Well, maybe I could be the trumpeter, but I'll only do it if I get 20 cookies." "How about 3? Asked the sister, looking at the almost empty bowl. "Well, okay," said Boris, "that's a fair price." And he climbed down the tree. Well, the party turned out to be fantastic. The trumpeter trumpeted, the king drummed, the royal court danced, and Boris forgot all about his boredom and nothing-to-dos. But he did not forget about the cookies, which the princess had saved especially for him. Well, if you're turning into a totally bored Boris, there's all kinds of fun things that you can do. Miss Nolan has already been sending you some assignments. I know you have a scavenger hunt going on. There's some fun things to do there, and all kinds of things that your teachers have been sending you to do over the next few weeks while you finish out the school year at home. And I'm going to be sending you some more stories on video as well. So I hope you like the story about Boris. Be sure to comment or send a message to Miss Nolan and let her know you liked it. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you again soon.